The series continues with a somber look at a case that tested justice and memory along Sri Lanka's coast. In Tangalle, Christmas Day 2011 brought a quiet paradise under a cloud of violence and controversy. Khuram Shaikh, then a 32-year-old British Red Cross worker, traveled to Sri Lanka with his girlfriend for the holiday. Khuram's background showed a life dedicated to helping others, studying prosthetics and orthotics before turning to humanitarian work. The resort where they stayed became the backdrop for a case that would unfold beyond the holiday haze. On the night of December 24th, a party at the resort escalated, drawing locals and foreigners into a dangerous conflict. Khuram intervened to help a man being attacked, an act of courage that would have lasting consequences. 6 to 8 men, led by a local council figure, attacked Khuram and ended his life with stabbing and gunfire. The assailants dragged Khuram's girlfriend to the beach, where she endured a brutal assault. The justice system faced international scrutiny as investigations stalled amid claims of political interference. Over 2 years passed before momentum returned, shaped by diplomatic pressure from abroad. In July 2014, the Colombo High Court handed down 20-year sentences to 4 men for culpable homicide and gang rape. The British High Commission acknowledged the verdict, hoping it would bring closure to Khuram's family. Public debate linked the incident to broader concerns about judicial independence under provincial politics. The case illuminated the dangers tourists faced and the vulnerabilities created by patronage at the highest levels. Khuram Sheikh's memory became a catalyst for humanitarian reflections and calls for reform. The tragedy united families and foreign communities in a shared demand for accountability across borders. This episode explores the weight of memory and how nations reckon with painful chapters in their history. Khuram's work with amputees and refugees illustrated a life dedicated to healing, even as tragedy struck. The media framed the Tangalle events as a symbol of impunity and the fragility of justice. As the case unfolded, the coastal beauty of Tangalle stood in quiet contrast to the violence of that night. The victims' stories continued to echo through diplomatic channels and international advocacy groups. In retrospectives, Khuram's humanitarian legacy inspires debates on accountability and human rights protections. The case's long shadow influenced reforms and contributed to a broader examination of governance in Sri Lanka. Even as the pages turn, the memory of Khuram Shaikh remains a call to action for justice and dignity. The episode closes with gratitude for the resilience of families who endure beyond borders. This chapter sets the stage for the next installment in a series that weighs memory against accountability. We reflect on the complexities of memory, justice, and the persistent call for truth. The coast of Tangalle remains a place of beauty shadowed by a difficult history. Khuram Sheikh's humanitarian work lives on in the memories of those he helped and inspired. The verdicts offered some closure, but questions about power and justice linger in public discourse. As this episode concludes, the sea teaches patience and the mind seeks accountability. The murders on Christmas night in Tangalle left a country searching for answers and reform. This chapter will be followed by further explorations of justice, memory, and international sensitivity. Thank you for joining this installment of The Weight of Memory, Episode 5. A closing thought: memory has power, and memory must be weighed with truth and accountability. The next scene will continue to explore how cases like Khuram Sheikh's shape reform and resilience. We honor Khuram's memory by pursuing dignity, humanitarian aid, and steadfast justice. This concludes the current episode, leaving space for reflection and continued pursuit of truth.